When you don't have to pay to play, sometimes the games aren't great. However, some of them are absolutely fantastic. Let's focus on those today. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks, the best free-to-play games in 2020. Starting off at number 10, it is Rogue Company. Rogue Company is, of course, a third-person shooter. It is objective-based. You have different types of modes. For instance, Extraction, which is a 4v4 team mode. It's a little bit like CSGO, except for with hacking instead of a bomb. There's Demolition, which is a lot like CSGO. But on the other hand, this game doesn't really play a lot like CSGO. First off, you skydive from aircraft at the beginning of every round, and you earn money from both killing other players as well as completing various objectives. Use that money to upgrade stuff, and the gameplay is a lot of fun, honestly. It's also got visuals that weirdly remind me of like old Tony Hawk games. It takes advantage of the third-person shooting with diving, and it's really genuinely a very fun game. Rogue Company is out now for PlayStation 4, Switch, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. At number 9, Spellbreak is just a delightful third-person, class-based, spell-casting battle royale game. Now, I've pretty much described everything you need to know about it right now. Like, there's just not a lot of fantasy-oriented battle royale, if really anything. And a lot of what you can see here is very oriented towards what I might call a game that looks like a fantasy game, has a couple of ideas that are a little reminiscent of Prototype in the way that you're moving around, and has a ton of really awesome spells. The visuals obviously are meant to evoke sort of a cartoon, Breath of the Wild, Avatar Last Airbender thing, and it does a great job. I really enjoy this game. It is really worth your time. Spellbreak is out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows. At number 8 is the Haunted PlayStation 1 demo disc, which came out on itch.io and is basically like a collection of weird, kinda horror games that could have existed in the 90s. Now, none of these are like big games or anything. They're not like tens of hours long or anything like that, but it's this fun throwback to how you used to try out games back in the 1990s. You had to get demo discs, which usually came with magazines, which was really actually very cool. Every month you would have a ton of new games to play, and you could sort of keep up with, you know, what might be interesting to play in full in the coming months. Obviously, none of these games are going to be quote-unquote full games, at least that I'm aware of, but it's absolutely one of these cool, kind of creepypasta-inspired, goofy, weird, actually kind of scary things. At number 7 is Unfortunate Spacemen, a co-op game that a lot of people just call Among Us with guns. And it works. In truth, it's also like kinda cooler. I wouldn't say Among Us with guns, I'd more say Among Us for Dead. And if that sounds interesting to you, it's a very well executed concept. It's also intended to evoke some of the creepiness of Dead Space. There's a shape-shifting monster who is played by one of the players, and as the shape-shifting monster eventually kills everyone, you're supposed to, of course, end it. Like, it very much is a lot like Among Us. However, it's obviously more action-oriented, and for some people, that's just gonna be better. For me, Among Us is kinda, not quite what it needs to be. It's close, but I actually like Unfortunate Spacemen a little bit better. It's not one-to-one the same thing. Again, there is guns. It is in kind of a Dead Spacey type space station thing. It's a cool game, though. I would definitely recommend giving it a shot. At number 6 is Gridiron, which is a very different take on a football game, in my opinion, billing itself as a fast-paced fusion of sci-fi and arcade-style American football, meaning, hey, you like the idea of combining science fiction with NFL Blitz? Yes, I do. I love NFL Blitz. I'm not even really a big football fan, but back in the day, NFL Blitz was something I played the absolute crap out of. And while this is definitely not a one-to-one, it's not the exact same thing, it is really fun. Like, this is a game I think that just landed hard. It is in early access, of course, and it has a ways to go, but it's something that it's different. It's very fresh. This is I mean, in my opinion, more fun than most of the quote-unquote good football games. It's definitely a different take. It's 7 versus 7, and honestly, I kind of wish that games like this were given more of a chance. Again, it's out in early access now. It's got a passionate community, and there's a lot of people playing it. I would definitely say give it a shot. At number 5, it's Hyperscape, a interesting and kind of Ready Player One-ish first-person battle royale. Now, when I say Ready Player One-ish, I mean without all of the BS. Like, you don't get a bunch of like franchises and stuff. What I mean is it's like that. An interesting feature that was included is the idea that viewers on Twitch actually are able to have some form of input. Basically, through the match, various things can change. Viewers watching the game on Twitch can vote on those things. Like, some of them are cheat-like, basically infinite ammo type stuff, showing all the enemies on the mini-map, etc., etc. And some are more mod-like, like low gravity mode, but they definitely vary up the gameplay a lot. Add this stuff up and the fact that it's a really cool-looking game that's kind of specifically designed for Twitch in a lot of ways. However, you obviously don't need to be a Twitch streamer for it to be fun. Hyperscape is out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. It will be landing on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 as well. At number 4 is Phantasy Star Online 2, an action RPG that, well, is not something I really expected to see land in this country. But wouldn't you believe it? That's exactly what it did. The original Dreamcast Phantasy Star Online was one of the few online RPGs, and definitely like the first online console RPG. And weirdly enough, the sort of underlying ideas all sort of hold up. It is a bit of a unique setup that would take much longer to describe than a few seconds. However, they've done a lot in giving you a lot of player choice as far as playstyles and weapons. It is narrative-based, it's set in space. You're going out and looking to see if there's good planets to colonize. I mean, it's not a complex story, really, at least at its core. But it is a lot of fun. It's out on Windows and Xbox now. At number 3 is Genshin Impact, just an absolutely beautiful action RPG on an open world map where you basically have different elemental attacks and look like an anime character, and how could you possibly not want to play it if you're a fan of JRPGs? It also kind of looks like Breath of the Wild a little bit if Breath of the Wild were way more anime. Really, the main attraction here is the combat system, in my opinion. It's very unique. You can play the game single player too if you want. There is more than a little bit to do whether you're doing it either way. I think this is a game that manages to be kind of like Breath of the Wild, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, and incredibly like an anime. Like, it looks so much like an anime. And I mean that in the best possible way. Genshin Impact is out on Windows, PlayStation 4, Android, iOS, and it will be out on Switch sometime in the near future. At number 2 is Call of Duty Warzone, a free-to-play battle royale version of Call of Duty that both comes with Call of Duty Modern Warfare and also can be got in basically the normal way. It is basically everything you would expect of a Call of Duty battle royale. It's that tight, honed Call of Duty gameplay in a large-scale battle to the death, and I think it works really well, especially given the fact that it's pretty big. There's 150 players in any battle royale situation, and if you're looking for something even bigger than that, even though that is much bigger than your typical, there are non-permanent modes that crop up from time to time which support up to 200 players. Probably my favorite aspect of it is dying does not automatically kill you. It sends you to the gulag, where you end up fighting with another player, and whoever wins actually gets to respawn. I think that's actually a really clever addition to the Battle Royale formula, and it doesn't just limit you to the Battle Royale. There is 50 versus 50 deathmatch, it's called Warzone Rumble, and there's a few other modes as well. Honestly, it's just a really good free-to-play first-person shooter. It's out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows now. And at number 1, it is Valorant. I played the hell out of Valorant. I've easily played it more than any of these other games, and it is not as complex as some of them. Valorant is if CSGO had elements of Overwatch, where you have different heroes, you do have teams, you have different abilities, these things are there. However, it really plays out like CSGO. You have to take a bomb, called a spike in this game, to the other team's base, set it up, set it off, or you can just kill all of them. Generally, I've found that this is a really chill game despite being very competitive. Most of the time, the community is pretty good. I have had run-ins with crappier people, but show me a game where that doesn't exist. Truthfully, I really enjoy Valorant. It is a fantastic game. It continues to grow. I just wish it would show up on more platforms. I'd like more people to have the opportunity to enjoy such a fun competitive game. Couple of bonus games for you. Kinoko, a very short, relaxing 15-minute third-person game that is very pretty and very different. Next is Shop Titans, an RPG shopkeeper simulation along the lines of Soda Dungeon, but I'll say probably not quite as good in my mind. Still pretty good. Bleach Brave Souls, which is a mobile gacha RPG, and Warframe Heart of Deimos, a nice big addition to the Warframe universe. Have you played any of these games? Enjoyed your time with them? Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. And we'll see you next time right here on GameRanks.